Welcome to Nighttime Folklore, your sanctuary for peaceful sleep and soothing bedtime stories. Here, we journey through enchanting stories, mystical landscapes, and timeless folklore, all crafted to help you unwind and drift into a deep, restful sleep. Whether you're seeking a moment of tranquility after a long day or a gentle escape into the world of dreams, you're in the right place. Before we begin, don't forget to switch off autoplay so you can enjoy uninterrupted rest after the story ends. So relax, settle in, and let the soothing stories of nighttime folklore carry you away to a night of peaceful slumber. Sweet dreams await. Let's get started with the Enchanted Forest of Somnia. In the farthest corner of the world, beyond the mountains veiled in mist and the rivers that whispered ancient songs, there lay a forest unlike any other. It was known as the Enchanted Forest of Somnia, a place where time moved slowly and dreams took on a life of their own. The people of nearby villages spoke of it in hushed tones, their eyes wide with wonder and respect, for the forest was a place of great magic and deep tranquility. One cool evening, as the moon hung low and full in the sky, a weary traveler named Elara found herself standing at the edge of Somnia. Elara was a wanderer, her heart forever seeking the unknown, her soul restless and yearning for peace. She had heard tales of the forest, how it could heal the deepest wounds and lull even the most troubled minds into gentle slumber. And so, with a deep breath, she stepped into the forest, the soft, mossy ground welcoming her tired feet. The air within the forest was thick with the scent of jasmine and cedarwood, a heady perfume that seemed to wrap itself around Elara like a warm blanket. The trees towered above her, their leaves shimmering with the silvery glow that cast soft, shifting shadows on the forest floor. As she walked deeper into the woods, she noticed that the usual sounds of the night chirping crickets, rustling leaves were replaced by something entirely different. It was a melody, faint but unmistakable, drifting through the trees like a lullaby carried on the wind. Curious and entranced, Elara followed the sound, her footsteps soft and deliberate. The melody grew clearer as she walked, its notes gentle and soothing, each one resonating deep within her, calming the storm of thoughts that had plagued her mind for so long. The forest seemed to breathe in time with the music, each tree swaying gently, each leaf trembling with the vibration of the tune. After what felt like both a moment and eternity, Elara arrived at a small clearing bathed in the soft light of the moon. In the center of the clearing stood a grand tree, far taller and wider than any she had ever seen. Its bark was a deep, rich brown, and its leaves were silver, sparkling like diamonds under the moonlight. But it was not the size of the tree that captured Elara's attention, it was the figure sitting at its base. A woman, clad in flowing robes of the deepest blue, sat with her back against the tree, a golden harp resting in her lap. Her hair, dark as the night sky, flowed down her back in waves, and her eyes, when they met Elara's, were as deep and mysterious as the forest itself. The woman smiled softly, her fingers still dancing across the strings of the harp, coaxing from it a melody that seemed to be made of moonlight and dreams. "Welcome, traveler," the woman said, her voice as melodic as the music she played. "You have journeyed far to reach this place." Elara, feeling a warmth and calmness she had not known in years, nodded. "I have heard of this forest," she said, her voice barely more than a whisper. "They say it is a place of rest where one can find peace." The woman inclined her head slightly, her smile never fading. "It is true. This is Somnia, the forest of dreams. Here, all who enter may find the rest they seek, the peace they long for. But it is not a place to be entered lightly, for the forest knows the hearts of those who walk beneath its boughs." Elara felt a gentle stirring in her chest, as if the forest itself was listening to the rhythm of her heart. "I have wandered for so long," she confessed, her eyes lowering to the ground. I have seen many lands, met many people, but I have never found a place that feels like home. The woman's hands stilled on the harp, and she looked at Elara with a gaze that seemed to see right through her. Home is not always a place, dear traveler, she said softly. Sometimes it is a feeling, a state of being. Perhaps in your search for a home, you have overlooked the home within yourself. Elara frowned slightly, the woman's words stirring something deep within her. I don't understand, she said, though she knew in her heart that she did. The woman smiled again and gently set the harp aside, rising gracefully to her feet. Come, she said, extending a hand to Elara. Walk with me and let the forest show you what it means. Elara hesitated for only a moment before taking the woman's hand. Together, they walked through the clearing and deeper into the forest, the trees parting before them as if they were old friends welcoming them home. The melody of the harp still lingered in the air, weaving itself into the rustling of leaves and the distant call of night birds. As they walked, the woman spoke, her voice a gentle thread that wove through the night. She spoke of the forest, of its ancient magic that had existed long before humans had walked the earth. She told stories of travelers who had come to Somnia seeking solace, of how the forest had shown them their deepest desires, their greatest fears, and in doing so, had helped them find the peace they sought. Elara listened, her heart growing lighter with each step. She felt as if the weight she had carried for so long was slowly being lifted, as if the forest was drawing out her worries and fears, replacing them with a deep, abiding calm. They came to a stop by a small crystal-clear pool nestled among the roots of an ancient oak. The water sparkled in the moonlight, its surface as smooth as glass. The woman knelt by the pool and gestured for Elara to do the same. Look into the water, the woman said softly, and see what the forest sees. Elara leaned over the pool, her reflection shimmering on the surface. But as she gazed into the water, her reflection began to change. The tired lines of her face softened, the weariness in her eyes faded, and in their place, she saw a younger version of herself, a girl with bright eyes full of wonder and hope, untouched by the trials of the world. The reflection smiled up at her, and Elara felt a tear slip down her cheek. She realized in that moment that the girl in the reflection was not someone she had lost, but someone who had been with her all along. She had simply forgotten how to see her. The woman placed a gentle hand on Elara's shoulder. The peace you seek is within you, she said quietly. It always has been. The forest can help you remember it, but it cannot give it to you. Only you can do that. Elara looked up at the woman, her heart full of gratitude and understanding. Thank you, she whispered, her voice filled with emotion. Thank you for helping me find what I had lost. The woman smiled and nodded, her eyes twinkling with a light that seemed to come from within. Rest now, traveler, she said, her voice as soft as a lullaby. Let the forest cradle you in its arms, and when you wake, you will be ready to continue your journey. Elara felt a deep weariness settle over her, but it was not the weariness of exhaustion, it was the sweet, gentle weariness that comes from knowing you are safe, that you are home. She lay down on the soft moss beside the pool, the scent of jasmine and cedarwood filling her senses. The woman began to play her harp once more, the melody wrapping around Elara like a warm blanket. As the music filled the air, Elara's eyes grew heavy, and she felt herself drifting away, carried on the gentle currents of the melody. She let go of her worries, her fears, and allowed herself to be drawn into the embrace of the forest. The last thing she heard before sleep claimed her was the soft, soothing voice of the woman singing a lullaby that echoed through the trees, a song of peace, of dreams, of home. And in that moment, Elara knew that she had found what she had been searching for all along. In the heart of the Enchanted Forest of Somnia, beneath the ancient trees and the silver leaves that shimmered in the moonlight, a traveler slept peacefully, her dreams filled with the soft music of the forest, her heart at last at rest. And as the forest watched over her, it whispered a promise that whenever she needed it, the peace she had found would always be within her, a quiet, steady light guiding her through the darkest nights. And so, under the gentle watch of the forest, Elara slept, her mind at peace, her heart full of dreams, and the world outside the forest faded away, leaving only the soft, comforting embrace of Somnia to cradle her. The end. Thank you for joining me on this journey through tonight's tale. I hope it brought you the calm and peace you were seeking. If you enjoyed the story and found it helpful, please consider liking, subscribing, and ringing the notification bell so you never miss a new bedtime adventure. Your support helps the channel grow and brings more soothing stories to help you drift into sleep. Until next time, may your dreams be filled with wonder and your nights be restful. Sleep well, and I'll see you in the next story. Sweet dreams.